Marcus Lane stood in front of his modest apartment window, staring at the blinking red digits on the gas station sign across the street. Prices were up again. Rent was due. Credit card statements cluttered the kitchen counter behind him. He rubbed his temples. 39 years old and barely keeping it together. He wasn't lazy. He worked 2 jobs. But no matter how much he earned, he never seemed to get ahead. He thought back to a conversation he'd had a week earlier with his cousin Andre, a man only 3 years older but already semi-retired, investing in property and stock portfolios like a man twice his age. Marcus had laughed it off, blaming luck, but Andre said something that stuck. You're not poor because of what you make. You're poor because of what you own. Marcus didn't get it at the time. But tonight, it hit him hard. He looked around his apartment, tight, cluttered, chaotic, and saw for the first time not the life he was trying to build, but the traps he had walked into, one purchase at a time. The first was sitting under the television, a financed flat-screen TV. 48 inches of high-definition glory he bought during a zero-down Black Friday frenzy. He'd been paying $27.99 a month for 18 months. With interest, he'd be spending nearly twice what it was worth, and he barely had time to watch it. Next to it, stacked beside the couch, was his collection of sneakers. At least 20 pairs. Limited editions, some bought with Klarna, others on credit. He told himself they were investments, but they sat in boxes, untouched, doing nothing but losing value. He walked into the kitchen. The counter was littered with kitchen gadgets, an air fryer, a fancy espresso machine, a high-end blender, all bought during a new me phase. He rarely cooked. Most nights it was takeout or cereal. Each of those items cost more than the groceries he skipped. On his fridge was a magnet from his old timeshare in Florida, an impulsive vacation purchase 2 years ago. They made it sound like a dream: ownership, equity, vacation guaranteed. But the maintenance fees kept rising, and he hadn't visited once in over a year. Trying to sell it was like trying to give away a headache. Back in the living room, he glanced at his lease-to-own furniture. Couch, coffee table, even the lamp. Nice-looking stuff, but he had already paid more than double their retail value in monthly fees. He could have bought them outright secondhand for a third of the price. Instead, the lease terms kept dragging on. His laptop pinged, a new ad from his favorite dropshipping store. He swiped it away. That led to his next mistake: online courses and get-rich-quick schemes. Over the last year, he'd bought 4 courses promising quick income from crypto, e-commerce, and stock flipping. None delivered. Most were glorified webinars selling more upsells. He walked into his bedroom. His closet was stuffed with clothes, designer outfits bought on credit. Some still had tags. He wore the same 5 shirts every week, but those expensive jackets and shoes gave him a fleeting sense of status when he bought them. He now realized they were confidence substitutes, not real value. Near his bed was a subscription treadmill, a high-tech fitness machine with a screen that streamed classes for $39 a month. It had become a towel rack. And on his desk, glowing faintly, was his gaming setup, a high-end PC rig he'd financed with a personal loan, complete with RGB lights and a gaming chair. He told himself it was his relaxation, but it became his escape. Hours lost, time burned, skills unbuilt. Then there was his car, the biggest trap of all. A leased luxury sedan, which ate up nearly a quarter of his monthly income between payments, insurance, and gas. He could have bought a used Honda and pocketed the difference. But when he first drove it off the lot, it made him feel successful. Now it made him feel foolish. 10 things. 10 assets that weren't assets at all. They didn't grow in value. They didn't make him money. They didn't bring peace. They stole it. Suddenly, Andre's words clicked. Poor wasn't just a paycheck. It was a mindset. It was the belief that having expensive things was the same as having wealth. It was prioritizing appearance over value, convenience over freedom. Marcus sat down and opened a spreadsheet. He started listing every item, every monthly payment. The total was sickening. Nearly $1,300 every month just to maintain the illusion of progress. That was his savings account, his investment fund, his peace of mind, gone. The next morning, he called to cancel the treadmill subscription. He listed the gaming setup online. He returned unopened sneakers. He made a plan to get out of the car lease and find something practical. He wouldn't fix it all in a day, but he had taken the blindfold off. Weeks passed. He sold off what he could, canceled unnecessary subscriptions, traded luxury for functionality. He read Andre's recommended books, The Millionaire Next Door, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. They didn't offer magic, just truth, hard truth. He stopped chasing symbols of success and started chasing actual freedom. 6 months later, Marcus stood at the same window, coffee in hand. The gas station still blinked across the street, but now it didn't stress him out. His emergency fund was growing, his credit card debt was shrinking, his mind felt clearer. He still lived in the same apartment, still worked 2 jobs. But now, every dollar had a direction. He smiled and thought, the worst assets are the ones that make you feel rich while keeping you broke. He wasn't falling for that again.